Hi everybody, thanks very much for joining me today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a look at Revell's 62 Shelby Cobra 289 in 1/25th scale. We're going to open up the box and see what comes in here. So first of all, this is a 62 Shelby Cobra 289, so this is not the famous Cobra 427, although this was kind of the starting point for that car. But this is with the 289 4.7 litre V8 engine rather than the big 427 6.9 litre engine, which came later on in the Cobra. So okay, this is in 1/25th scale, skill level 5. That surprises me. I wonder what it is about this kit that makes it a skill level 5. Looking around the box, it's classic Revell end flap box style. And look here, we have Carroll Hall Shelby Trust and Carroll Shelby Licensing Incorporated official licensed product. Love to see that. Same illustrations around the other side of the box there, and then we have on the back here a photo of most of the parts and some photos of the built-up model. I'm always a big fan of seeing those on the back of the box. And I'm starting to see some complexity in there as well. I'm starting to understand why this could well be a skill level 5. But let's see. Let's see what actually comes in here. So let's get everything out of the box. Is that everything? That is everything. Okay, right, instructions. We'll have a look at those later on. Safety notices, etc. Okay, that's where the decals live as well. We'll take a look at those in a bit. Okay, let's have a look at what comes in the poly bags. Actually sliced the main poly bag open already. So within that big poly bag, we've got a lot of other poly bag pieces. So onto the tyres. Let's have a look at those first of all. So we've got two metal axles in there. And the tyres. Okay, quite nice looking vinyl tyres, if I can just bring that into focus. Decent looking tread pattern on there, that looks pretty good. And we've got sidewall detail. We actually have Goodyear moulded on the sidewall. And a few other raised details as well, polyglass, GT, size information. That's on both sides of the tyre. Great. So those of you who like to get busy with a white gel pen or white marker pen, you know what to do. Excellent. Okay, what else have we got? Clear pieces. I tend to leave these in the bag rather than take them out, but we can see what's in here pretty well. That little windscreen. Quarter lights there to go with the side of the windscreen, and then the headlamp glasses. That's really it for clear. Not seeing any tail lamp pieces in there, so no doubt we'll find out later on how the tail lamps are done. Okay, right, so let's have a look at this body. Famous Cobra body shell. There we go. That looks really nice. Yeah, nice moulding there. Got this big cross piece in the middle which will have to be removed. That's obviously there for strengthening while in transit. Yep, pretty nice. Not seeing any flash there. I am seeing some mould lines and seams. Yeah, a noticeable one there on the edge of the nose. You can see that. I don't think that really is. I don't think that's something you'll see on the real car. And again, under the headlamp there, on both sides, you can see that potentially on top of the wings. That is what happens when you have a complex multi-curvature body shell to mould. I guess you end up with various mould pieces having to meet up. Not much they can do about that really. And we do get this nice rounded Cobra body shell. As you can see, this has got flared arches, but not as extremely flared as on the big 427s that came later. Okay, what else do we get? So, okay, everything individually polybagged, that's good. Nice high quality approach to packaging there. Let's see what is in here. And we have the hood, complete with scoop. That's a real scoop. Genuine scoop with a hole through. That looks like a tonneau cover to go over the passenger side, part of the passenger compartment if required. Okay, separate trunk lid, boot lid, twin bucket seats, dashboard there with instruments moulded in, and a kind of leather grain effect. I assume this is the bulkhead that goes on the other side of the instrument panel. Okay, then we've got this kind of interior tub with a sort of carpet texture inside, and a similar sort of texture for the inside of the boot. I suppose that is inside of the trunk. Looking good. Okay, cool. What's next? This is the rest of the grey plastic in here, and we have... I'll tell a lie, no, it's not the end of the grey plastic. There's yet another frame after this. So we've got, oh, look at this. That is the Cobra chassis. I'm trying to recall what sort of chassis that is. I guess tubular or space frame, I think it might be called. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is not a standard car chassis. Not for an American car at that time, not for really any car at that time. Really a racing car kind of chassis rather than a road car type chassis. You can see we've got some wishbones moulded in there. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Nice steering wheel. Again, look at the slots through the spokes. Quite strong detail there. Moulded seat belts. Various other components. I'm not sure what everything is that we're seeing here. I think we've got tubular exhaust headers, exhaust manifolds there. Some wishbones or A-arms. I think we're looking at a rear axle. Yeah, 2 rear axle pieces there. Detail really strong again. Really good detail. Lots of moulded detail. And then we have 2 more frames to look at. So, let's get these out and take a look. Okay, and I just completely failed to cut into the actual bag. Let's try that again. Here we go. This time. Right, so, in terms of plastic, we have the engine halves and transmission halves. You can see this is a small block engine. I've not got another engine to compare it to here, but you know, look at the size of my thumb compared to these engine components. It's a smallish engine. It's a 289 V8. It's not a huge engine. I think that's a separate battery there. Look at the detail on that. That is pretty good. Oil pan, various engine components. That's probably the front of engine and water pump. Engine heads there. Basic pulley system. I assume those are leaf springs for the rear axle. And then, yeah, other suspension components we've got there as well. Shock absorbers, couple of hoses. I expect what we're looking at here are assemblies to represent the disc brakes and calipers. Again, plenty of detail there. You could really enjoy yourself with detail painting on this one. And finally, in terms of plastic, we've got a chrome frame. This looks pretty good. So this is the windshield surround there, of course. Chromed rear bumper. Absolute classic Cobra style bumper. Classic Cobra style front bumper with those overriders there as well. Look at that. I think we've got vents there for the sides. We've got 2 pedals there. Okay, what looks like a very short throw gear shift lever. Mirror. I'm not sure what everything is that we're seeing here. Okay, probably a fuel filler cap. I think those are the headlamp cans. What else? Not too sure. It's tiny little bullets. Are they mirrors? I think they might be. Smallest mirrors I've ever seen. Okay. I was hoping we would see the tail light assemblies on here. Maybe they are, and I just haven't recognised them, or maybe they were elsewhere on the other frames. Not too sure. The instructions would help us out with that. And then look at these wheels. Really lovely racing wheels. I think I'm right in saying they're probably Hallebrand style wheels with spinners to go on them as well. They're knockoff spinners. Chrome side pipes, always nice. That's it for the plastic. That's looking pretty good. It's a small model, and it's the way it's been moulded and detailed. It seems to have a real finesse to it. I'm quite impressed with this so far. So let's have a look at the instructions. We've got this nice full colour instruction book from Revell. Again, starting off with a photograph of the built model. And then we're straight in with all our safety tips, do's, don'ts, didn't mind if I would type stuff there. And after that, we get, paint guide. So paint colour reference, which is useful. Obviously, it's good if you can get research photos of the actual vehicle, but this is also useful too. Quite a few paint colours there to use or to refer to. And then we have a parts diagram starting here, continuing over the page. That's all your parts. Great, so assembly kicks off quite straightforward. as you'd expect with a car kit, your engine halves go together, oil pan, heads, engine top goes on. Okay, you've got this manifold, you've got velocity stacks, I think they're probably, or just open-throated carbs actually. That's a real racing engine, I like that. Yes, cam covers go on, front of engine details, and then okay, so we've got, I think that's a recreation of the steering gear. That goes into the front of the tubular chassis we saw before. We've then got some strengthening pieces. There's one of those kind of spring type deals there. So that isn't a rear leaf spring as I thought it might be. Carrying on over the page, we have... Okay, so upper wishbones, A-arms going into place there with the brake assembly. Metal axle then goes straight through there, which is a bit surprising. That metal axle I would have thought would be visible and would presumably pass through the engine block, but I could be completely wrong about that. Okay, wheel fronts and backs go together with the tyres in typical fashion. Wheels go onto the ends of the metal axle, the spinners go on there. Radiator, battery, various ancillary bits and bobs go into the chassis together with the belt engine. That's then plumbed in. Headers go out of the side of the engine directly out the side of the car. Rear axle goes together and goes on the back of the chassis. Okay, yeah, so we've got another sort of spring mounting there. Okay, so Cobra suspension looks quite interesting. I might have to read up on that. Okay, then very similar to the front. Brakes go on, wheels go on. Okay, seat details go together. Steering wheel details go together. That all goes, or the seats then go into the interior tub. Dash components fit together and go in with the steering wheel. Then we start putting some pieces onto the body. Okay, so we've got a hood hinge there, or sorry, a tailgate trunk lid hinge there. That goes together, and then with the hood we have the same sort of fit together arrangement there. And then we are really getting on with it now. So, okay, those vents go in the sides of the body. Interior goes into the body. Chassis and engine goes into the body, and then we're getting to the final assembly essentially. Windshield goes on with quarter lights. Here are the tail lamps. Okay, so right, so we have these small round chrome pieces which I didn't pick out on the chrome frame from before. I wonder if I can see them now. Part number 10. Oh, okay. So these tiny little pieces here, they're your tail lights, and obviously they need picking out with red lenses. They go directly into the body shell by the looks of things. And then it's a case of, yeah, fuel filler cap, bumper, optional tarp cover over the passenger side there, rollover hoop, which is probably quite a good safety feature given that the only thing otherwise to protect you in the event of a roll is that windscreen, which I don't think would really help you out very much. And then headlamps go together and go in to the body, and the bumper goes on the front, and it's done. And I apologise, I've got a damp spot on the instructions there. We've got this rear... This is back page paint guide and decal positioning guide as well, which is all good stuff. Okay, now let's take a look at the decals, which were in here. And it's a simple looking decal sheet actually. Quite nice though. So we've got our racing numbers and this stripe, which sort of goes over the fenders and bonnet if you want to recreate that exact paint scheme. I'm in two minds about that stripe. I'm not sure if I like that or not. In addition to the moulded safety belts, seat belts we saw earlier on, we've got these decals as well, which I assume can be put on the seat belts or used instead of, I guess. So there's an option for you there. And then we've got Cobra emblems, Ford Motorsport emblems. We've got, yes, yet more engine bay emblems there as well. Looks like probably a VIN plate. I think those probably are decals for the cam covers. That's going to look pretty good, isn't it, with those on? Instrument decals, a number of those. Look at that, you can really detail that little interior. And then some sponsorship decals. You know, the kind of thing if you buy enough oil, you'll probably get a Castrol sticker to put on your racing car. Same for Goodyear and same for Coney and so on and so forth. There we go. That's everything you get in the 62 Shelby Cobra 289 box. I think it looks really good. Like I said, it's just got a nice fine detail and some real finesse to it. I think it will build up into a very detailed model. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching.